Hello again, viewers and fellow space travelers. This is Thorn of Night once again, and this is episode 4, the final episode of my tree breeding guide for the Forestry Feed the Beast mod pack, or the Forestry mod in the Feed the Beast mod pack. And just a quick recap for those of you who want to know what I'm using for doing the automatic breeding. This is the thing that I have dubbed the pollinator. It is in one of my other videos. You can go watch that and download the map to look at that in more detail separately. In the first video I demonstrated the way this is oriented way over there, the first stage of tree breeding, and that was the basic normal vanilla trees: the oak, the birch, the spruce, and the jungle tree. And then in the second video I demonstrated some of the new crossbreeds, as well as the first tree that used solely just mutations. In episode 3, the previous one to this, I demonstrated some more trees, 5 more trees, mostly following the balsa chain. And in this video I will be covering the last 3 trees you can get in normal plains type environments, as well as 2 that need to be done in a damp environment like a jungle or a swamp. And that's what this Mistcraft portal is for. But first things first, I will be demonstrating what you get from these. And these trees, this is the Myrtle Ebony, and this is the Kapok. And when you crossbreed these two, you will get something called the Yellow Meranti. And the Yellow Meranti is one of the interesting trees in that the wood that it produces is not called Meranti or Yellow Meranti or anything like that. It's instead Mahogany. But first, to show you what the stats on it are, it is a 2x2 tree, so you will need 4 saplings to force a tree to grow. It's a tall tree. It takes an average amount of time to mature. It's not all that quick. And its sapling yield is kind of low. It does require light, and it likes the plains to grow in, but the fruit that it supports is the cocoa beans, but it doesn't actually bear fruit on its own. And nothing else in here worth noting. But to show you what this looks like, you need to plant 4 of them like this, and then bone meal 1 of these. Oh man! The core trunk is 2x2, but it also spits out these little side nodes. So you do need to stand back a little bit when you plant it, or when you bone meal it, so it doesn't grow through you. As you can see, it is pretty tall. Not nearly as tall as the sequoia way over there, but it is pretty tall. Actually, on average, it's a little taller than most of the Kapoks that it comes from. The wood that you get from it, like I said, is, instead of being Yellow Meranti and has nothing to do with yellow, it is mahogany wood, and obviously it's got that nice mahogany color. I don't know how real to life the bark is for this, and I'm not really keen on the texture. It looks sort of like a bug carapace, which I guess I could find a use for, but the wood itself is pretty neat looking. And let me go ahead and do my little design here. I'll put it in creative mode so I don't use up the facades. It does have that nice dark pinkish, dark salmon color, and it goes really nicely with greens. It also goes pretty well with the the teak wood. But let's see here. There's the fence there. And this is my demonstration that I'm using for all these videos and all these tree types to show off the different types of wood blocks that you can get from the trees, as well as to give you a better look at what the color and texture of the wood is. Let me go ahead and lay these Buildcraft pipes to put on the facades. And the facades do only go on Buildcraft pipes, not the pneumatic pipes. And when you put the facade on the top, it shows the top texture, and on the side it shows the bark, the side texture. But that's that, and I will go put this stuff back in the chest. Let me check something really quick. All right. And it looks like my gravitation is getting low, so let me go ahead and... Is that not... Okay, it is replenishing. I should have enough. I will need a grafter. And for this, I'm using the Thaumium grafter that you can get from Thaumcraft. It does not come by default with the Forestry mod, so this is... I'm using this as part of the Feed the Beast pack. I overclicked. It allows you to get more saplings out of one grafter than the typical Forestry grafter, which only allows you to actually get 5 saplings, and this will let you get something like 15. But the Kapok leaf block, that's kind of a rhyme, that signifies that it has been cross-pollinated, looks like this. This is the duller color over here is the standard Kapok leaves, and this is the changed leaf block. I don't know if the Meranti here, or the ebony here, has any leaf blocks that have changed. I would be surprised if I could see one, because it does have a dense cluster, and so if there are any that have changed, they're probably on the inside and I can't see them, unfortunately. I would have liked to have demonstrated what a mutated leaf block on this looks like, but I will have to do with what I've got, and I'm going to go ahead and get some saplings from this to show you that you can indeed get the yellow Meranti sapling. Couldn't think of the word for a second. And I will just use up this grafter. I believe I've already got, if I'm looking at this right, I believe I've already got 3 saplings of the yellow Meranti. Where's some more? There's some more. This grafter's about dead. Probably one more sapling. Yep, that was the last one, but I got another sapling. Alright. And to show you that it does in fact breed the yellow Merantis, I will... Where is it? There we go. Yellow Meranti. A Kapok hybrid. Let me just go ahead and get all of these identified using the treealizer. And if you want to know how to make the treealizer, just watch the first video in this little series, and I go over that as well as the other things that you need for doing tree breeding. But let me show you these here. Myrtle Ebony Kapok hybrid, Kapok Myrtle Ebony, Myrtle Ebony Kapok, so on and so forth. These two do not stack, even though they are Kapok Myrtle Ebony, ebony rather, because as you can see, the height has a different value. Let's see here. Can I? There we go. These have the same height and fruit production, but some other mutation in them is different, preventing them from being the same sapling. And the same sort of thing happens with all the others. You can crossbreed any of the forestry trees with any of the others, and they will get different stats accordingly. But only a few trees actually produce the ones that you're going for the crossbreeding purposes. For instance, the yellow Meranti here. And I will be making this map available as a download in the description, so you can get a closer look at what's going on and let it run for a little while longer to get some more crossbreeding going. But I will go on to the next tree here, and what I've got here is a silver lime tree, or 4 silver lime trees with 4 what are they, hill cherries or wild cherries? Cherry trees. And this is, I believe, the first of the series where I have demonstrated an impregnated or a crossbred cherry tree. This is this lavender pinkish color leaf with the nodules on it is what it looks like typically. And this very red crimsony color is what it looks like when it's been crossbred. And the silver lime, this green plain leaf block, is unbred, and this more, I guess, tealish color with the nodules, that's the crossbred. And what this produces, if I look at the right box, is the common walnut tree. And the interesting thing about this is, like the cherry tree from which it springs, it produces walnuts, and walnuts are useful for one thing in particular that comes into play a lot in the forestry pack, and that is producing seed oil. And to show you that, I'll hit the U button. 1 walnut will produce 200 millibuckets of seed oil. A lot more than seeds, a lot more than cherries, and it's not the highest output. That would be the chestnut, but it is pretty good. Let's see here. Let me get the treealizer out. The sapling, I will identify that. Needs to be planted in a 2x2 in order to get the right trunk for making the walnut tree. It has the highest sappiness rating, which I believe, I'm pretty sure that means the highest fruit output. Let's see here, moving it there. It likes the plains biome. It is compatible with nuts, prunes, and palms, so it can be easily crossbred with any of the nut trees, any of the cherry or cherry hybrids, or the apple oak, or anything else that you have that produces apples. It can crossbreed. It does require light to grow. I don't think there are any of them that don't. Make it morning, speaking of light. And I will go ahead and make a 2x2 of this and hit it with some bone meal. One of these will activate it. There we go. The leaf blocks stick out 1, 2, 3, 4 on average from the edge of the trunk. And just like the cherry tree, it comes with these little nodules on it. And when the nodules change to a darker color, a more brownish color, it means that they are ripe for picking. And if you hit the leaf blocks before they are ripe, you will stand a very low chance of getting a walnut. But once they are, it's almost 100% chance, in my experience, that you will get a walnut from every leaf block. Now, the other meat and potatoes of this. Wait, there we go. Put me on creative. You can see what the bark looks like there. The actual wood has a sort of, I guess, lavender and gray cross color. It's, I don't really have anything that I have earmarked for using it as a build for, but I'm sure I can find something. But it's got its own little distinctive color, and it does kind of stand out compared to a lot of the other gray tone ones. But let me go ahead and do the build pipe thing. There's the planks, and there's the wood, and these are facades, and they only go on the build craft as a reminder. But I will go put these back in the chest. That. And I will get out a grafter and take myself off of creative mode. And there we go. And I will just start by attacking these here. And you can see, since the nodules are red instead of green, I'm pretty much going to get a cherry out of every single one of these. And I'll use this up down to about half on the cherry trees and go over to lime trees to demonstrate that. There we go. There's a cherry tree. One thing that I have mentioned in at least one of my previous videos in this series when doing the crossbreeding is it is best if you only have two different types of trees near each other for the crossbreeding. Otherwise, you get it doesn't matter which side that they're on. The bees from this can crossbreed this tree with this tree, whatever's in those positions, and it can make for some confusion. Early on, it's good for just mass producing the starter hybrids or the starter mutations like the larch and the silver lime, but afterwards you do kind of want to segregate the tree breeding areas into sections of their own. But let's see here. I have 4 walnuts. I have some cherries. And some cherry tree silver lime hybrids. And as you can see, they say unknown under them. That's because they have not been run through the treealizer. I'll show you this. This is just a common walnut, no hybridization. Then I will show you these hybrids here. Get the cherries out of the way. And once again, these are silver lime hill cherries, and these are hill cherry silver limes. And you can see small and smaller, small and smaller. But they are all putting out cherries, so that's kind of nice. That doesn't always happen when doing the crossbreeds, the hybrids. Oh, am I in the wrong? No, I'm in the right one. But that is the walnut tree, and I have gotten back up to a full stack. On to the next one, which is the best seed oil producer. It is the chestnut. And I will go ahead and hit U on that as the shortcut for showing the utilization. The walnut gave 200 millibuckets, and this gives 240 millibuckets. So this is the best one, the biggest bang for your buck if you're going for seed oil. But I will go ahead and grab all this stuff and come back over here. And the reason why I'm coming way over here to demonstrate the trees is so that these trees do not interfere with the pollination process over there. Go ahead and analyze the chestnut. Once again, it's a 2x2 tree. That's the sweet chestnut. It does produce chestnuts. It grows pretty fast. It's a large height, so it's going to... Why did I do that? There we go. It is going to be, on average, a little bit bigger than even the walnut. Let's see here. It has the highest option or the highest setting for producing fruit. So pretty much every leaf block that will spit out a fruit from being matured will spit one out. It does like the plains. It supports all the almost everything except the cocoa beans. So any crossbreeding you do, it can stand a chance of producing those fruits. And to show you what it looks like, I will plant 4 here. Go back into creative mode. Use the bone meal on one of these. There we go. It isn't all that wide, but as you can see, it is taller than the walnut over there. And it starts off with this sort of hazy lime green nodule, and then when it matures, these get a lot darker and much more noticeable. You will be able to tell, like for instance, you can see the nodules over here are this lightish green, whereas these are the brown color. Same sort of thing will happen with this. These will get about to that sort of brown, maybe a little bit darker before they are ready to produce walnuts. But let's see here. I will do this. This is what the wood looks like, and you can see the bark on that. Looks kind of neat. I guess it's supposed to be like moss growing on the side. The wood itself is a sort of, I guess, yellow beige color. I don't really know all the names of the colors, but let's see here. The half slab and then the fence. So that's what that looks like. It's kind of a bright and cheery color. I guess it would be good for like interior stuff. A house, using that for something on the outside would really, I guess, especially if you use it in conjunction with a darker wood or a dark stone, it would really pop out. But I don't think I'd like to use that in much of anything that I'm going to be working on. To each their own, I suppose. Now for the facades, there's the top and the side of the wood, and that's what that looks like. And in episode 2, I admitted that I had forgotten to put the bees in my pollinator setup, and I came to the realization that I did the same thing for this one. I was an idiot, but it seems that some of them have changed over. I'm going to try to use the grafter on it. Wrong one. And hopefully I will be able to get some chestnuts out of this. There is a cross-pollinated leaf block for you to compare. The base walnut looks like that, while the pollinized walnut has this more lime green color to it. And the silver lime tree or the cherry tree can be used in conjunction with the walnut to make these chestnuts. Make it morning again. Now, because the walnut tree does have this dense, thick assortment of leaf blocks around it, the outside leaves may not be the ones changing. It might be ones on the inside, so it is best to wait for a while before you get the pollination going. But I will go ahead and do this. Whoops. Turn off of creative mode. Hope that didn't ruin my chances. There we go. And I really do hope I get a sapling out of these few blocks. Was that one? Nope. I would have liked to demonstrate. Oh, there's one. On the inside. Nope. Let's see here. Don't want to spend too much time looking. And I don't see any on the inside here. That's a bummer. Oh well, but the chestnut tree does come, I found, from cross-pollinating the walnut tree with either the cherry or the silver lime. They stand about the same chance to get the saplings out of them, and that's about a 1 in 10 chance. I didn't get any this time. I apologize for my derp on that, because I would have liked to have shown you in the video that they do produce the chestnut. So I guess you'll have to take my word for it, but they do. And it's about the same distribution as the other ones over there. Now, the last two trees in this video are ones that require a different biome in order to get them to cross-pollinate. They have to be in a damp biome. The bees that I've been using for this are meadows bees, or I think over there I have some marbled bees. And that's the meadows bees are the red ones. The meadows bees do not like the damp climate, so I had to use marshy bees. And marshy bees need mushrooms, and so growing the you first have to find some mushrooms in order to get them to grow. But without any further ado, let me demonstrate the two trees that that I'm going to be showing. First off is the Sipiri, and the Sipiri tree, come over here, I guess that's far enough, is a 1x1 trunk tree, and it is a tall tree. It takes the normal amount of time to grow and has average or below average yield of saplings and fruit when they can produce fruit. By default, they have no fruit. They can tolerate being bone mealed in the plains, which is why I can do what I'm about to do, but they will by themselves only grow in the tropical biomes. Let's see here. Anything interesting? Only thrive in tropical climes. Nothing useful there. But I will go ahead and show you this. It is a 1x1, so I only need one sapling. Go ahead and put myself on creative. Oh, it's not going to do it, is it? I will have to demonstrate that over in the jungle itself. So, before I do that, whoops. Or what am I doing? Put these up here. I will demonstrate the willow. And actually, you know what? I will demonstrate the willow in here. So through the Mistcraft portal we go. And it is nighttime, of course, so I will make it morning. Excuse me, sorry about that. And I guess I will go ahead and demonstrate over here the Sipiri. So let's get these swapped out. Apologize for the disorganization. And I already identified that, so sapling, bone meal, ta-da! It's this long, slender tree. What did I just pick up? An egg. Oh, because I have the magnet on. And what it produces is this really vibrant, I guess, seafoam green color wood. You can see it here. Here's one on its side. And it's got this really distinctive bark, too. I kind of like that. But let's go ahead and build my little construct here. Da-da-da. Put the corner pieces on. The half slab and the fence. There we go. It really is a neat color. I like it a lot. Let's see here before I forget. The facades. There's the plank and there's the top and side of the wood. And that's the Buildcraft facades. It has a really neat color for the leaf blocks too. I kind of like it. But that's this tree. So I guess I will let me go back through and grab this chest. This is going to take a minute, isn't it? You know what? There. I will just grab a chest. And yeah. I will put this here and put the Sipiri stuff in here. And this is called green heartwood, as opposed to the word Sipiri. So if you're going in NEI and looking for the wood for this, it is going to be named differently from the wood that is produced. And I am using marshy bees for these. Like I said, they require mushrooms nearby in order to do their pollination. And instead of regular honeycomb, they produce this mossy comb. But let's see here. I'll get the grafter out and remember to go off of creative mode. Turn my gravitation engine on. And I will graft these. Now, I believe this is the first instance of using this tree for building. This is the let's see here, the yellow Meranti. Yes, this is the yellow Meranti tree, and this is what the normal leaf block looks like, and this is what a cross-pollinated leaf block looks like. It's one of those more subtle ones, so keep an eye out. And this is the Kapok. This has been in one of my other trees, so you can see that color difference there. And I'll go ahead and use this grafter up to demonstrate that you can get the Sipiri out of this, hopefully. This. There's one. There's one. And I'll come over here to the Kapok and try to get some of these. before I use up the grafter. Oh, and that was it. All right. There we go. Demonstrate that you can in fact get the Sipiri out of this. So here we go. Sipiri, as well as some yellow Meranti Kapok hybrids. I won't bother trializing those. The next and final tree in this series, as far as I know, is the Willow tree, and this is actually a really neat one, but you do kind of have to stand back when you grow it. I will first bring down the trializer and toss the white willow in it. It does produce it does make a 1x1 trunk, so you only need one sapling per tree. And it does produce a lot of leaves, so you stand a pretty decent chance of getting saplings out of it, even though it says low and lower, or lower and lowest there. It matures very fast. I've had them, when I made a line of them for cross-pollination experiments, I've had them grow in almost as fast as I was done with the row. The trees that I started with that row had already started growing, so they grow really, really fast. They do not produce fruit on their own, but are compatible with the different types of fruit, except the jungle fruits. It says that they are native to plains and tolerate plains, but I have yet to get them to be cross-pollinated in the plains, which is why I've come out here to this jungle biome, I forgot to mention, that I made a Mistcraft Age for. It is just a gigantic single biome map that I cleared out with fire. It's best to clear out trees with fire. I love that. But I will hopefully be able to stand far enough back to not get suffocated. There we go. This is the willow tree. And the most awesome thing about it is, once I go into creative mode again, it's hollow on the inside. It's a really neat tree, and I really dig it. I've been trying to use this with a taller tree to get a really tall tree to have these willow leaves that come all the way down, and I haven't been able to successfully do that. If you can do it, congratulations. Please let me know. I want to see it. But I will go ahead and demonstrate what the wood looks like on these. What am I? Oh. That's where they went. You can see the bark there, and it's this whitish silvery bark, and it's actually quite pleasant to look at. But also, the inside has this really neat palish I would almost call it an iridescent pale yellow. It's a really neat color, and it's actually, in my opinion, it's brought out really nicely by greens around it. So here on the grass, it looks really neat. But there's my little construct thing, and there's the build pipe, or buildcraft pipe. I'll move it over like this. There's the planks, there's the wood top and the wood side, and that's what that looks like. And now I will go put these in this chest that I'm carrying with me. Oh, don't need the chest in there. And lastly, a grafter. I'll turn creative off. Where did I... Interesting. I'm getting saplings from over there. That's kind of weird. But the willow in damp environments comes from crossbreeding the silver lime over here with either the birch or the oak. And I will go ahead and hopefully be able to produce some of them. I think that was one right there. Yep, there's a white willow. But I will go ahead and finish off this grafter here. Da-da-da-da. And I don't think it's supposed to be this high of a percentage chance. I've gotten 3 out of 5 so far. 4 out of 6. Wow. It's not really supposed to be that high of a chance. So I just am being lucky, I guess. But hopefully I'll be able to get some out of these as well. Maybe not. Who knows? These are probably going to also be crossbreeding and making silver limes, because the oak and the birch can make, yeah, these silver lime saplings. But that's okay. Or they are crossbreeding with silver limes. That's it for that grafter. But there you go. A demonstration of the silver lime. Oh, look. Bees marching through pipes. So I will go ahead and put these in here. And I will demonstrate that this is just a regular, typical white willow. Now the white willow I have gotten to grow in the plains biome. And why don't I go ahead and confirm that I'm not an idiot on this. Morning. Turn off the gravitation engine. There we go. One, and there. It does grow in the plains. I guess the Sipiri is the only one that just doesn't grow when you bone meal it in the plains, which is kind of a bummer. But that is the gist of all of the trees of which I am aware in the Forestry mod, all the different mutations. I did, like I mentioned before, I did go through thousands of different combinations in experimentation to try to get these crossbreeds, and for these 4 videos I have shown you the ones that I know for sure create the ones that I'm going for, and I've tried to demonstrate that they do in fact produce those trees, so you can see it on the camera. The map for this will be available as a download from the description below, so go ahead and take a look at that. I hope this has been a helpful, I guess, tutorial for or guide for demonstrating the different tree breeding types. I actually had quite a blast in doing the experiments with trying to get these going. It was quite fun, but hopefully you got something from this. I thank you for watching. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, leave those in the comment section, and I will try to get back to you as promptly and succinctly as possible. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I've got a lot more stuff coming, including some tutorials. I do plan on making a Thumbcraft tutorial for how to do all the research, especially the additional research that there is in Feed the Beast, which has recently added to what there is. So there's that to deal with. But go ahead and look at my other videos on this so you can see the other steps that I took. But yeah, that's pretty much it here. Thank you very much for watching. And this is Thorn of Night, and I will talk to you later.